Hi everyone, welcome back. I have some new tools to share with you today and a new little project. I know you're waiting to see me finish my beautiful scrappy quilt with the navy squares on point. However, I'm still looking for a backing fabric that I like. I usually try to get them at op shops, thrift shops, and use old sheets, but I'm fairly picky. They need to be good quality, 100% cotton, and I'm looking for one in navy. And I haven't had much luck, so I might have to buy like real fabric from a fabric store or buy a brand new sheet. But I felt like working on a new project and I wanted to show you some of the things I've bought recently. So let's go, it's time to sew. Okay, it's change of location. For this video, I'm down in my garage. So I've got my car parked here, I've got a few bikes on the road, on the wall here, and my husband's ladder's in the corner over there, so don't mind the mess. So this is where I sew day to day when my house is full of people. So not always get to use the beautiful dining room area that you usually see. This is my fabric. What I'm thinking of doing is doing half square triangles, and I want to eventually make a new padded cover for my sewing machine. So I'm just going to start today making half square triangles, and I'll show you how I do those. So this is just fabric I've had for a little while now. This green, I've obviously used a little bit of it. Pink, which does have stain here, so I'll have to cut around that. Beautiful flowers and more beautiful flowers. I love that one. So this fabric, I bought it in a bundle together and I've just been sort of holding on, but I think this is the project I'm going to use it. I'm going to cut them into 4-inch squares to begin with. So very excited because I bought a new board. So in case you haven't heard, haven't watched other videos, I was getting fed up. This is was my mum's board like in the 80s, 90s, and she gave it to me, but it is now so soft and perished. When I actually used my rotary cutter, it wasn't cutting properly, and I think what happened was it was just pushing the fabric down into the mat. That's how soft it was, and yeah, it was doing my head in if you remember past videos. So very excited because I bought myself a new one. That one's going to go in the bin. So this is Fiskars two-sided cutting mat, and it has inches on it, which even though we're in Australia and we use metric, I still quilt in inches. And we have the diagonal lines for the different, if you're cutting on a diagonal, which will help out. And depending what colour, the light versus the dark. So self-healing, I'll probably take that off now. And when I was at a quilt show recently, there was a video about it. I bought a titanium plated rotary cutter blade. This one is called roller cutter blades from Taiwan. Oh, Daffa cutter. So I'm going to put that in and try. That's what I'll be using, rotary cutter. I won't be using these, but I'll show you anyway because I bought these at the same time I bought my mat. New scissors, Class A. In this lovely rose gold colour. So my other ones, I had red ones, and they needed to be sharpened, and I just didn't know where to sharpen them. So anyway, I just decided I deserved new ones, so I've got new ones of those. And later on, I'll also show you a new an ironing board to show you. All right, let's go. Let's cut these. Oh, before I do, I have been sewing without you I've been trying to make this skirt. It was really hard, so that's why I don't film myself when I was making clothes, because I'm not an expert yet, and I had to concentrate. So I have made a toile and I tried it on and it fit, and then I made a little invisible zip. It has lining, and this morning I did the waistband and I hand stitched it down, and it's going to have these belt loops. I'm really happy with it so far, but it has been hard and difficult, so a lot of effort. So I want to do some easier sewing, which is, for me, quilting. It's easier to make things in 2D than 3D. Okay, let's start with these pretty colours. Got my ruler. I've got a longer ruler. Where's that? One second. Okay, so I'm going to do them 4-inch squares. So I line up my ruler with the 4-inch line going along the edge, nice and straight. Hold down firmly. I put my new blade in my oh my gosh. Wow. That's so nice. That's cut so well. Now I must have tried cutting this at 4.5. I might just cut that off. Wow. I didn't have to put too much force in to cut that. I put force down on this side to hold the ruler, but oh my gosh, that is so nice to cut compared to the previous setup I had. So 4-inch line again, holding. Wow, I'm so impressed. So impressed. Isn't this lovely colouring on this fabric? I love, not only do I love the colours, I love the fact that it's got that black outline and it looks like it's someone sketched in their art notebook with one of those, with black pen and then coloured them in with watercolour. I don't know, that really just speaks to me. Alright, I'll probably should line these all up and I can cut them in one go, all 4 layers. Look, so 4 layers. Oh, so easy to cut. Okay. I'm a big fan of this rotary cutter titanium. How am I going to turn squares into triangles? So if you're an experienced quilter, you know what I'm about to do. Magic. If you're a new quilter, this is the trick. right sides together, 2 squares of any size. Line them up. We're going to do a 1/4 inch seam around all 4 sides. I've changed over to pink cotton from my red. I've put my 1/4 inch foot on my machine. Down, I've got it on 2.5 stitch length. So one side I can even stop, pivot. The other side, pivot. And last side. Okay, so now we have a square with stitching the whole way around. Get my rotary cutter again, and I'm going to slice it diagonally each way. So line up diagonally one way, and then the other way. And when I'm cutting this side, oh, can you see this? Let me see. Just move over a little bit. Okay, when you're cutting this way, line up the diagonal that you've already cut along one of your lines to just make sure it is perfect. Then you'll have 4 little tiny squares that are half square triangles. So aren't they cute? I wanted them small. My vision is just all covered in little tiny triangles. So cute. So I'll cut this other one, and then I'll show you my next new tool, which is an ironing mat. Okay, so this is my new tool. I've just turned on my iron so it's heating up. It's called So Easy. It's basically a wood ironing mat. 100% pure New Zealand wool. Oh, that's nice. Alright, so this is so I can not have to drag my ironing board up and down my house when I want to sew versus when I want to iron my clothes, because I live in a 4-story townhouse. So let's sew these little things. Where are they? So I'm going to iron the seam open for these. And then they'll be trimmed here and here. But basically I'll end up with lots and lots of little squares again. And squares are easy to sew up in rows. And so this is a very beginner friendly project. So I'm going to spend the next little while just sewing these. I'll put a podcast in, or actually I'm currently listening to a book by Philippa Gregory. So Philippa Gregory is my all-time favorite author. I read all her novels. They're all set in like medieval or Tudor England. And this book that I'm currently listening to, I brought it down. My daughter, for Mother's Day, gave me a book voucher, and I went to the bookshop and I found this, which is a Philippa Gregory book, but it's a non-fiction, and it's all about normal women throughout history, including like that medieval era that I enjoy reading this author so much. And so it is really big, and I'm reading some as a book, but moments like this, I've also got it as an ebook, so I can also just listen to it. So that's the plan. There was this really awesome quote I thought about sharing with you, but I'll have to find it. So maybe I'll find that and tell that to you later. But anyway, I'll just do the rest of these, and then I won't do them one at a time. I'll be batch making these. So first step is that I will sew the 2 squares together all the way around, all 4 sides. I'll do that for all my squares. Then I'll do the cutting into the triangles, and then I'll do the ironing of the seams open. And I'm planning to put them together so that I have one of my florals, these two, one of my florals against my pink or my green, so that they have a busy piece of fabric, as well as a calmer piece of fabric. That's the idea. So I think this is going to be a really fun project to work on. You sometimes need a little project that's not too much thinking involved, especially after doing dressmaking, my goodness, and that you can just enjoy and not have to think about and you know, read your favorite book, or listen to your favorite book, or listen to music, and just enjoy the last little moments of the weekend before going back to work tomorrow. So I found this quote that I wanted to share with you because it relates to textiles and women and their role in the textile industry. So basically, the business of textiles, wool production done by women. They were the shepherdesses, managing the flock, shearing, and then they spun as she went about her working day, her spindle twisting as she walked, her distaff stuck in her belt, right? And then later on it talks about how they were involved in the whole production and the transfer, the trade, and the making of the garment, making of the cloth, making of the garments, and part of the whole process, right? So then it goes on to say, the change from the little hand spindle to a spinning wheel, slowly adopted in England from the 1300s, moved the work from a portable, cheap technology into a piece of larger, heavier equipment that confined women in isolation in their homes, where they had to sit at the wheel and work on their own. So it became this outdoor social thing. They were interacting with all walks of life throughout the day, and now they are confined to the home on this spinning wheel. It was faster with a wheel, but few women in cash poor, subsistent farming households had enough savings to buy a spinning wheel. So basically she had to pay off debt. She was more productive, but now she had the added cost of debt, and she had lost time to her other productive work. Her labour became invisible, disappearing behind the closed door of the home, and her true wage also became invisible, some of it vanishing in debt before she even saw the cash. So she had become a piece worker, paid according to the employee's terms. Crucially, she was no longer visible in the village and community, taking her place in field and market, pooling knowledge and exerting influence, enforcing laws and tradition. Her rate of pay, the value of her work, was no longer visible either. She was not working alongside other women doing the same work, and they could no longer set a price in the public market or collectively agree the rate for the job. So, I don't know, for some reason that really struck a chord with me, to how, because this whole chapter was how involved they were in women were in the community, in business and in trade and as experts, and that moving inside the home maybe was a start of this just devaluing of what women contributed to society. Yeah, great book. All right, I'll leave you to it, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.